Here we go. We got Kris and Sonny. Both of these guys submitted both of their opponents on the road to this COVID Classic, and I'm pausing this because I knew the action would be fast and furious. So let's see what happened. This is potential to be the match of the tournament. So both guys gripping up. Sonny immediately shoots in, gets the takedown. Kris Chatham has a arm in guillotine. And Sonny drives forward, clears the guillotine, gets the 2 points for the takedown. Now, in this situation, strategy-wise, you got to think, if Kris Chatham was able to, he could potentially sweep with the guillotine, and that would negate the takedown. Sonny wouldn't get points for it, or submit with the guillotine. But in this situation, Sonny has to escape the threat of the guillotine before he gets the points, which he clearly did once he gets his head free of the arm here. So Sonny gets the first points on the board. He's up 2-0. A lot of the time we've seen the person who scores first win. It puts you under a lot of pressure if you're down on the scoreboard. Sonny's looking to climb his foot up. He's got a nice tight cross face. I like his approach to passing here. He's just trying to kind of, every time he's given an inch, he tries to take a mile, get the cross face, pull him back down, slow things down. This is how I would try to do it. Tight cross face, try to make Kris look the other way. And in Kris's situation, he's got to try to make space here. When he can't accept this cross face, he's got to try to move. Kind of block and move if you can. Now he brings the leg over, sets up nicely for the reverse arm lock, forces Sonny to move. But this submission is always quite difficult to actually get the finish. But he forced Sonny to his back for a brief second, but he's able to scramble away. And now Kris ends up in a front headlock position. So let's take a look again. So Sonny was in a real good position here, but Kris was able to make enough space to get his left leg over, and he gets his right knee in at the hip is very important. Right knee in at the hip, and then he's able to get Sonny's elbow away from his body and attack the reverse arm lock. But like I said, the reverse arm lock, very difficult to finish. I know neither one of these guys is gonna tap to this in the COVID Classic, because it's just one of those ones that if the guy's real squirmy, he's just gonna get out. Both of these guys are real squirmy, and then Sonny was able to just kind of bring his weight down, get back up. And Sonny didn't hesitate. He attacked right away. Went with the Toriando pass, but Kris was able to bring his hips up. And now he ends up in a front headlock. So this is a really nice scramble that's happening here. Now Kris is in the front headlock position. I'd like to see him control the arm a bit more there. Now he goes to attacking the turtle. Now you should be looking to break Sonny down to a hip. Here, if this was me, I wouldn't focus so much on the seatbelt. Just try to disrupt the guy's base. Because Turtle, the guy still can move around quite well from Turtle and attack. Now, I don't bringing the foot over the head is okay if you want to commit to attacking the arm lock. But like I say, you should just really break him down to a hip. Looked like he was maybe thinking about bringing him back with the Kimura, which is a good idea. Now he stepped back and got the hook in. That was nicely done. Now's the time to stay tight with the seatbelt. See, Kris is losing the chest to back connection a little bit. And Sonny's doing a good job of staying tight. But Kris's hips are riding up pretty high here. There's always the danger of the hips riding up too high. That will make you lose the position. It looks like he's kind of slid off the back, but it looks like he's on the arm. But Sonny switches to the arm bar himself. And Kris did a nice headstand out of it, and he still managed to stay on top. So let's look again. And honestly, this is why they say position before submission. If Kris would have just been able to stay in a stronger turtle position, break Sonny down to a hip, things could have been different. But he tried to chase his submission. He's on the armbar. That lets Sonny transition to an arm lock of his own, because the way their arms were intertwined. But Kris was able to jump his weight over, and now he jumped in front of Sonny's knees, so Sonny couldn't use his legs anymore. And now he stayed on top. Sonny immediately transitioned to an underhook, and then he went to his knees. Sonny looks to hit a switch. Now it looked like Kris briefly tried to attempt a guillotine. So Kris was looking to pull the lapel out and go for something, but Sonny tried to switch. He was able to bring Kris's hips over. Now he ends up in side control. But in this situation, Sonny would not get 3 points for passing the guard, because that's what you get points for, passing the guard. You don't get points for side control. And Sonny was in bottom front headlock. And now he's in side control. But he would still be up 2-0 with his initial takedown. And now it looks like he's attempting a lapel choke. Kris is got to try to turn in towards him and frame in. Now that looks like that's on pretty tight, but he's losing position a little bit. Kris is able to run his legs around to the other side and escape very nicely. But Sonny is able to maintain position. And now see, this is where all this scrambling uses up a lot of energy, and once you're able to really stick a guy in a good position like side control like this, you can really it can really do a lot of good for you. Sonny is attempting an arm lock here, because at some point you got to slow the game down. You can't scramble forever. Both these guys are very good in the scramble, but at some point you're going to have to get to a static position, and then this is when you need to absolutely get the most out of it. And Sonny's trying to with the crossface. Kris is trying to move his knees, but Sonny kneed over very nicely to mount. Now he's held it for 3 seconds at this point, so you get another 4 points for the mount. He threatens the cross choke. He's likely threatening the cross choke just to get that elbow to come up so he can attack the arm lock, which is a very good strategy. And Kris has got to try to bump, try to trap a foot, get a quarter guard, trap the knee. Now he's got to try to get his shoulders facing the other way. He doesn't want to stay facing this way. He's a little bit too exposed for the arm lock. He's got a hold of his other hand. Now he's got his bicep. Sonny controls the leg, brings the leg over the face. Now Kris is able to get back up to his knees very nicely. But Sonny is able to break the grip and finish the arm lock one more time. So Sonny brought the left leg over, the cross-facing leg over. Very nice. And now he's got Kris on his back. And now, you really want to keep the guy on his back here. I know we got the arm lock here. Kris is able to successfully rock up, but you really got to try to keep the guy on his back, as his chance for escaping just jumps up dramatically at this point. But he was able to throw his weight off balance and get Kris to post his hand, and then he can really get his hips into the arm lock. So he recovered very nicely, made a nice adjustment, and he moves on to the next round.